everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Look, I mean, you talk about the anger that's out there and the frustration, and I think part of the frustration, let's be honest, is that white people do feel like we are being boxed out in major cities in the country, and it feels like, look, there's a little Haiti, and there's various ethnic enclaves where you get that local culture, and they do their, cultural festivals and that sort of thing, and white people feel like they're being pushed out, and they want a space where things are familiar.
Do you feel the same way about the Italian festival that happens in every city?
Well, here's a good example.
Or St. Patrick's Day?
Well, there's no Irish neighborhood in Chicago. Little Italy.
There is.
I mean, there's some remnant in Bridgeport.
Yeah.
And
it's important to note that, and I'm not trying to get into a shouting match here, but as a family coming from a family who did leave Philadelphia in the 60s because of black migration from the South after the Civil Rights Act was passed, there was a sort of mass flight of white people into the suburbs, and that kind of led to a homogenization of different cultures because they rushed so fast to build these identical strip mall suburbs that it was very hard to maintain cultural bonds that made different European and white neighborhoods unique around the 1950s and before. So I feel like the mass suburbanization is also a big factor that led to those cultural bonds breaking.
Yeah, but why did that happen? I mean, a lot of the suburbanization is because of the race riots in the 1960s. People moved out because of the violence. My grandfather was in the National Guard in Chicago when, after MLK got assassinated, the whole West Side burned to the ground, and people didn't want to be around that anymore.
Why were the riots?
MLK Jr. was assassinated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so does that justify burning down the city?
No, I didn't say it justifies it, but it sure justifies an enormous amount of the anger. The same kind of anger that you feel about being left out. The same kind of anger that...
Facts. And this is Hunter Biden, by the way. A lot of y'all don't know Hunter Biden, but he took $20 million from Ukraine. Meanwhile, the Trump twins, Eric and Don Jr., have taken $150 million from China.
You're expressing right now about the idea that you're culturally irrelevant, that you don't have a place in society. Imagine if you were a 26-year-old black man in 1968 and saw your hero be assassinated.
I saw Trump get shot in the ear, and
did he?
And I saw Charlie Kirk get shot. And
we still don't have evidence of Trump getting shot in the ear. We still don't have evidence of Trump getting shot in the ear. Or at least I don't. Maybe y'all do. I don't.
I didn't see any cities get burned down. It's funny
I think it's a very, very, very different thing. I think
how's that different? Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck.
Yeah.
And liberals celebrated all over social media by Tyler Robinson.
Yeah. Who is what?
Who is some liberal guy.
He is?
Mm-hmm.
But
I think that's crazy that anybody who celebrated Charlie Kirk getting shot, that was stupid. And I do not... I don't care for anybody who celebrated somebody getting assassinated over words. That was irrelevant and stupid. But you know what? It wasn't by a black person. It was not by a black person, which Nick Fuentes is saying all these things about black people. But Charlie Kirk was not murdered by a black person.
He's got a transgender boyfriend.
Does that make him liberal? Because he's transgender? Because he's gay?
So. Well, because he's got a transgender boyfriend, yeah, I think so.
It makes him liberal?
I think he was liberal, yeah.
Okay, well, he didn't come from a liberal family. He didn't come from a liberal enclave. He didn't come from a liberal background. He's not a minority. He was a Mormon, correct? Mm-hmm. And grew up in a Mormon household, and he went to a largely Mormon college, and he ended up committing an act of violence, according to the FBI and the authorities in Utah that charged him. How does that in any way compare to what we're talking about? I'm not justifying the violence that occurred after the death of Martin Luther King, but you're saying that person, this Tyler, whoever his name is was as disenfranchised as the African American community in 1968 in inner cities?
Well, the question is who we want to live around. And in the 1960s, the West Side burns down. We don't want to live around that. We don't want to live around a city that's burning down.
That's not when the White Flight happened.
It is. No, it was a big response to it, absolutely.
100% not.
Absolutely.
You make these historical connections that don't exist. Part of it was potentially, but before that, what Mayor Daley did is made Chicago the most segregated city in the entire United States, other than Boston. When you would come from the South to Chicago, African Americans from the South, blacks in the South coming to Chicago would say that Chicago was twice the level of segregation and racism that occurred in the South. And so it wasn't as if you're coming into a situation in which you're feeling in any way enfranchised by the community and the situation that you're in. And as many people left simply because of the idea that someone was black moving into their neighborhood as the violence that occurred after the assassination of Martin Luther King. So the numbers actually, pre-1968 when King was shot, you had more people leave the city because of the desegregation, because of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, than you did after the riots.
I think that's just not true. I think that the race riots were
What you think is not true is not reality. Even if they could not, even if they had the opportunity to leave, maybe they didn't have the funds to leave, and maybe when they got the funds to leave, that they did actually leave and they found space and opportunity where they are. But now, okay, let's put it like this. Gentrification. What is gentrification? It is white people with wealth. Not only white people, it's not just white people. Let me take that back. It is people with wealth buying inner city properties and raising the property value to where people who lived in these communities that are broken down, torn down, ran down, cracked out, smoked out, they are now buying these properties for dirt cheap, and they're building $200, $300, $400, $500 to $1 million properties on these inner city neighborhoods. Now, where's white flight? Because now you're building your property, your $300,000 property on a previous crack house. So, but they scared of the inner city. Unless they can raise the property taxes and move all of them out. That's how they do it.
huge driver of white flight to the suburbs. I think it's just dishonest to say that's not the case.
Okay, so what's your point about all of this?
Well, we're talking about where people want to live.
Yeah, I know. So like what in 2026?
Well, how about in 2020 when Minneapolis burned to the ground? Or how about in the summer of 2020 in Chicago?
Minneapolis didn't burn to the ground.
It didn't?
No. I mean, there were
BLM
parts
didn't
of it,
destroy
but-
dozens
Yeah.
of structures?
If you guys need a physical witness to what
By the way, BLM was not 100% black people out there fighting. Okay? There was white. Matter of fact, what's that kid's name? Kyle Rittenhouse did not shoot a black person. Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 white people. And that was the what was his name? George Floyd. That was the George Floyd movement. Kyle Rittenhouse did not shoot any black people. But here Nick Fuentes is blaming black people for BLM. Like that, nobody, no black people was shot looting places. If you look at it's a shoe store. It's a shoe store in LA. I think it was Cool Kicks. If you look at Cool Kicks, their security cameras, when they were looted, it was not 100% black people. It was a bunch of different races looting. So when this guy says, "Oh, it's just black people, it's just black," no, he
happened in Minneapolis. There were many structures that burnt to the ground. Not the city, but there was, I would say, between 40 to 50 buildings off of Lake Street in the south side that did burn to the ground. But most of the city was intact, but it was quite an intense situation.
People don't want to live around that. People don't want to live around that. You know, in Chicago, it rolled on into the summer, and it wasn't, let's say, the anger of the oppressed and the disenfranchised.
So who's
they
at
were
fault?
looting. They were looting and
Who's
carjacking.
they?
The criminals,
Yeah. Who are?
mostly black.
mostly black. The looters are mostly black. Who did Kyle Rittenhouse shoot? 2 white people, 3 white people. He shot 3 white people that were out there rioting in the city. Okay.
Who are?
Most of that. People don't want to live around that. You know, in Chicago, it rolled on into the summer, and it wasn't, let's say, the anger of the oppressed and the disenfranchised.
So who's
They
at
were
fault?
looting. They were looting and
Who's
carjacking.
they?
The criminals,
Yeah. Who are?
mostly black.
Mostly.
Nick,
Is that not true?
Yeah, maybe, Nick. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know why you use the platform that you have to make that your target. Are you saying that the problem with the 26-year-old white kid living in suburbia outside of Chicago and his feeling of being disenfranchised is because there was looting and rioting in Minneapolis by black people, and it's black people that are doing it?
Yeah, I mean the problem with Austin Metcalf was that he got stabbed in the neck at a track meet.
First of all, Austin Metcalf didn't get stabbed in the neck at a track meet. That's Nick. He's oh yeah, damn! Look at this. Watch this. Look the action.
Mostly black.
Nick, you know, I
is that not true?
Biden is
maybe,
dumbfounded.
Nick, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know why you use the platform that you have to make that your target. Are you saying that the problem with the 26-year-old white kid living in suburbia outside of Chicago and his feeling of being disenfranchised is because there was looting and rioting in Minneapolis by black people, and it's black people that are doing it?
Yeah, I mean the problem with Austin Metcalf was that he got stabbed in the neck at a track meet. And the problem with our city in Chicago is that the Magnificent Mile is gone. Water Tower Place is gone because of all the crime.
Nick, and the time of an entire generation of African Americans.
Wait. Does he know who ran Chicago for a very long time? Who ran Chicago for a very long time? The longest any ethnicity has ran Chicago for a very long time. It was white people. Al Capone, the biggest gangster in America, in American history. Al Capone, white. But black people is his problem.
Is that they've been getting killed by cops for decades. What are you talking about, Nick?
Because they commit crime. And listen, it's not...
Nick,
what?
That's not true.
The name of... The name was the crime family in Chicago. But black people is his problem all of a sudden. It was okay. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when we do it. Okay.
It's not true. Are you saying that police brutality as it relates and racism in the police force, in the way in which police treat African Americans? Nick, you could grow up here like I did between Wilmington and Philadelphia. And if you were a black dentist and you lived in Wilmington and you commuted to Philadelphia, the chances of you being pulled over by a state trooper, either Delaware or in Pennsylvania, are about 50 times that would be if it was a white guy. 50 times. And so what you're trying to tell me is that the problem in America right now is that a 26-year-old white kid who lives in suburban Chicago doesn't feel like he has access because he's been canceled or he's been woke, and the problem is black people.
I didn't say the problem's black people.
Well, you just did, Nick. You just
said the problem is crime, and we know who's doing the crime in Chicago. The carjackings, shootings, teen takeovers. We know why there's no business on the Mag Mile anymore, and it's because they steal cars, they drive them through windows. And listen, black people are some of the biggest victims of the black crime. But we're not allowed to talk about it because of the racial dimension.
What do you mean you're not allowed to talk about it? We're talking about it right here. You have a platform in which...
We can't talk about it, but we're on the platform talking about it right now. That makes perfect sense, Nick.
Millions of people listen to you, Nick.
I think
well, after Elon had to buy Twitter and open it up. It wasn't like that before. I was banned from everything for many years. So no, you weren't allowed it. You're right. We can talk about it now, but that's only because the good guys
Nick,
won.
You went from being banned on Twitter to being on YouTube to creating an entire show. I know you're not, but now you have Kick and now you have all of these other things. You have an enormous platform. I want to find common ground of how much of a shithead Donald Trump is. We can get there. We can get there. Okay. What I don't understand is how you didn't recognize.
Oh. This is the major kicker for all you maggots. All you maggots.
We can get there. Okay. What I don't understand is how you didn't recognize that in 2016, and how you didn't recognize that in 2020, and how you didn't recognize that in 2024. Because Donald Trump hasn't. Because Donald Trump hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump hasn't changed at all. Donald Trump has been Donald Trump since he came out of the womb of a woman that was an immigrant to this.
She's an immigrant. Donald Trump was born to an immigrant. Okay, he should not. he should not get birthright citizenship, so he should not even be a president of the United States because he is not. His mom was not a citizen of the United States. So by his accord, he should not be president, he should not be a citizen, and he should be deported because he's a birthright citizen of the United States. That's a fact. His grandpa was an immigrant. His mama was an immigrant. She was born over there, raised over here. He's a first generation American, quote unquote, because they was illegals. And he should not deport him. ICE go to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and pick his ass up and take him back to Germany where he came from. Or wherever he came. I don't know where he came from. Poland, Scotland, wherever.
Country. And so what I want to know, though, is that I don't know how we get past this idea that the biggest problem that you have that with your personal situation and how you extrapolate that to the situation of other white kids that are your age, that feel disenfranchised, that feel left out, that feel they don't have a shot at the American dream, is because of black and brown people, because of Mexicans, because of Venezuelans, because of Haitians, it's always other, Nick, with you, it seems to me. And I've listened to a lot of the stuff. It's always them. We need to build a wall. Where's the wall, Nick? He never built the wall. Why'd you vote for him in 2020? Why'd you vote for him in 2024?
I didn't vote for him in 2024.
Okay. My point being is that whenever you identify your problem as being something that is other, that you can point to, that's a minority, that is a group of people, that's the Jews, before, remember, all of us, it was the Irish Catholics who were committing the crime, who weren't allowed into bars, who weren't allowed into, because you know why? Because they were dirty, poor, non-Europeans. They were Irish. Every time it's wrong. Every time history has proven that to be wrong in the United States of America. Every time. Inclusion has been our greatest strength. Diversity has been our greatest strength. And I hear you talk about this idea of white culture. What white culture are you talking about, man? What
Shakespeare, Dante, Mozart. We're in
All them people are not from America.
Philadelphia, the founding fathers.
Yeah.
That's your white culture.
How about the Count of Monte Cristo? Would you consider that part of our white culture?
Sure.
Okay. Well, it was written by a black man in France in the 1700s.
In a milieu of European civilization.
So what?
You're picking out one example. It really is.
I'm not just picking out one example.
It really is.
Nick.
Listen.
Nick, I'm not. I really am not.
Hey guys, I think
Hunter Biden is killing them. He's killing them.
we're reaching with.
And man, people say crack don't kill, but crack is killing. Crack is killing Nick Fuentes right now.
It's called a rock in a hard place. Let's
And Hunter Biden knows about a rock in a hard place.
talk about it.
Well, let me respond to this because you're telling me I'm always blaming the other.
No, Nick, for real. Here's the thing, is that the way that you talk and throw out these historical facts, which by the way aren't facts. Okay?
Which ones aren't facts?
As it relates to the Civil Rights Movement in 1968, and the reason why we're out in the problem that we're in is because the Civil Rights Act passed in 1964. Dr. Martin Luther King was killed and shot by a white racist, white supremacist in 1968 on a balcony of a motel. That's the root of our trouble, because an entire people that have been disenfranchised and enslaved for over 400 years.
We're sick of hearing about that, though. It's 2026.
You may be sick of hearing about it, but you know what? They aren't. And I'll tell you what, Nick.
Get over it.
Nick,
It's America.
God, get over it. Here we go. Get over it. Oh, Lord. Man, I guess we should just get over being enslaved. Oh, Lord, man. Listen, man. What to do, everyday people, man? Hey, look. Black people cannot get over being enslaved. We can't forget history, okay? We're not going to forget history. The fact that you want us to forget history is crazy. It's crazy. Because every time somebody says, oh, black people was enslaved, somebody says, I'm Irish. We were enslaved. Then we like, get over it. What about the Holocaust? Get over it. Like, what the fuck? Hey, that shit happened in the 60s. Get over it. Ain't y'all got a whole country over there. Y'all got the Autobahn. Y'all could drive like 100 miles an hour on the highway. What are you talking about? Get over this. Y'all got better things to do than just worry about the Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Get over slavery. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. For real, for real. Get over it. Lord have mercy. The things that y'all say, man. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section.